Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at disneyplus.com. It's time for a quick Disney Plus news roundup. We're going to be talking about The Little Mermaid coming soon to Disney Plus, how successful Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was, and much more. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Okay, so let's kick things off talking about Disney's The Little Mermaid. The live-action version is going to be arriving on Disney Plus on Wednesday, the 6th of September, around the world, which is just over 100 plus days from when it came out in cinemas at the end of May, which is a little bit longer than some of the recent releases like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 or Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. With kind of this weird situation right now in terms of how quickly films arrive. Usually they go to digital first and then they come out on DVD, and then a little bit later on we see them on Disney Plus. The Disney sort of release for the DVD version of The Little Mermaid is coming out in the middle of September. However, I don't know if it's because of maybe Elemental coming out at the end of September. That might be why it's been maybe pushed forward a little bit for Disney Plus, and also just to give us a little bit of a break, because there's going to be a lot of movies coming over the next few months because they jam-pack so many into such a small period over the summer. We're going to get that big flood of movies then coming later this year. So I'm really looking forward to watching it again on Disney Plus. I know a lot of people are really looking forward to watching it. A lot of people have been kind of holding off, and I think this film is going to be a juggernaut on Disney Plus. I think this is going to do huge numbers, not just in week one, but I think this is going to be another film that just keeps rolling with people watching it week after week after week, with kids watching it. Especially you look at Encanto and Moana, both of which feature music from Lin-Manuel Miranda. I think that is going to be something like this film is just going to just pull in audiences and pull in audiences for years to come. And I think this is when we're really going to see the film go into that next level. And I think that's going to be a big thing for Disney Plus. And for this film, I really enjoyed the music from it. I thought it was fantastic. It's not my favourite live action film, but I definitely think there's lots of great stuff about it. And so looking forward to watching it again when it arrives in early September. But yeah, are you going to be checking out The Little Mermaid when it drops onto Disney Plus at the beginning of September? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. Speaking of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Samba TV has revealed how successful the initial launch of the film on Disney Plus was last week. In the first 5 days in the US alone, it was watched by 1.3 million US households. Now obviously this is not the official list, you know, things that vary a little bit, but depending on the official numbers, it was probably a lot higher than that. And obviously that's just based on the US, not the global one, which is going to be much higher. Now, in terms of comparisons with some other recent films, for example, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was just under 1 million US households, so it's done a little bit better. But Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was much higher in the sort of 2 million zone. So a little bit down. Not a huge surprise. It's the middle of the summer. Also, films are now taking much longer to arrive on Disney Plus, so more people will have watched it at cinemas, on digital, etc., on DVD. I was going to watch it over the weekend. I ended up watching Chevalier instead, and because there was a bit of things, well, I've seen it at the cinema, I'll watch it at some point. So I actually wouldn't fall under that category, though I'm not even in the US. But nevertheless, I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are going to watch it. Obviously, it's the middle of the summer, so numbers are generally a little bit lower than they are in the winter when more people are at home to watch stuff. But it's still a pretty good release, and it does show why releasing things in digital platforms and stuff first is a big hit. One of the other interesting things that got revealed by Samba was that when Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was released on digital to either purchase or rent, it was watched by just under 1 million US households. Now, if you think of it like this, it's around about $20 to like rent it, buy it, which would have worked out to be nearly $10 million just from the US alone. And that's obviously just based on their estimates and stuff. Now, you got to take off taxes, and you've got to take off like Apple and Google and Amazon will have taken a cut as well as that. So even if you said 50%, that could still bring in $5+ million, and that's just on the US. So if you take into account around the world, that is why films are going out on digital first, because that is where they're making a big chunk of money. So that's one reason why we are seeing now this kind of sort of a release schedule that they're doing with the Windows system. So that's why they're doing it. But a good release, I think, for the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But did you watch it last week when it came out on Disney Plus? Or did you not? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. Disney Searchlight has announced a brand new film called All of Us Strangers, which is going to be coming out in cinemas on December the 22nd of 2023. This film tells the story of what happens one night in a near empty tower block in contemporary London, where Adam has a chance encounter with a mysterious neighbour called Harry, Harry that punches the rhythm of everyday life, and as Adam and Harry get closer, Adam is pulled into his childhood home where it appears his long dead parents are both living and look the same age as when they died 30 years before. That definitely sounds a little bit spooky, a little bit weird, so this should be a little bit interesting to watch. Kind of interesting with it coming out for Christmas. You would have thought that almost sounds like a Halloween film, but there's a few other films coming out around that same time. Obviously with a very late 2023 release, expect it to arrive on streaming in the first half of 2024. But yeah, this is the thing with Searchlight Pictures, gives us a lot of different kind of stuff to watch. But if you're interested in this film, let me know in the comments below. Okay, with it being Tuesday, let's now talk about what's new on Disney Plus today. So on Disney Plus around the world and on Hulu in the United States and on Star Plus in Latin America, we got the very first 2 episodes of the 3rd season of Only Murders in the Building. So this one's a little bit different than the previous seasons, where kind of the murder really kind of takes place at a theatre, and it's kind of set after the events of season 2. I really enjoyed it. A lot of big stars in here. You've got Meryl Streep, you've got in there, you've got Paul Rudd. And yeah, it's a really good series. I have seen the first 2 episodes. I need to be watching for next week's episode. Enjoy this one. Didn't quite hit the same level as the previous 2 seasons, but I'm looking forward to seeing where this one goes. Nice to have this show back. We're going to have weekly releases now for the next sort of 6 weeks or so with this show. So yeah, this one's going to be a nice big show for us to watch over August and September. But if you're going to be checking out Only Murders in the Building, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. In our comment of the day, which comes from Dill, who asked, my question, is Disney leaving India? Please don't do that. Okay, so this is in reference to reports that Disney is looking to potentially either sell or even bring in partners for its Star India business. Now, when Disney purchased 20th Century Fox a few years ago, they did end up buying like Star Studios, they got Hotstar, and over the years they've been making some changes to like turn Hotstar into Disney Plus Hotstar, and they've been slowly making changes to the streaming service. They've also got lots of linear channels, and they've got lots of business there. But unfortunately, it's not making as much money as they would hope. There's also a big issue really with India as a whole with like the currency exchange and stuff. So they make a lot less per person than they do outside of India. And they are looking to maybe make some changes. Now, we don't yet know how this is all going to be impacting on consumers there. It might be that they just sell off the linear business. They might just get rid of their film studios, might sell that off. Some reports of like getting out of streaming. I don't think they're going to get out of streaming. I would be more inclined to think that Disney Plus would just exist like it does in every other country. Maybe there might be less Indian content on there as they start cutting back on it. They are going to be making some changes, but I think they are just drastic, and they're doing this in a lot of countries, just pulling back on how much they're spending. Yeah, I still think there's going to be something there, but I don't think they're not going to completely pull out of the country. But I think they're just going to be reevaluating what's making them money and what's going to be making them money in the future. Do they need like 80 plus linear channels? Do they need all the film studios? Is it producing enough content that they need that for Hotstar? They have a lot of subscribers on Hotstar, but they make a lot less per user than anywhere else. So there's a little bit of a change. They are less focused now on getting subscribers. They're more worried about making more money. So we are probably going to see a change. I don't think they're going to be, there's no way they're going to be completely pulling out of India. It's just they're going to be changing what they do there. But hopefully we find out some more on this pretty soon. But yeah, let us know what you think of all this in the comments below. Go check us out over at what's on at disneyplus.com. Like, follow and subscribe. And I shall see you guys soon. Laters.